Hello, and welcome to the 2022-2023 academic year of dual credit. We are so excited that y'all have made this decision to do dual credit, and we are so excited to support you on your journey. Right now, I'm going to share a PowerPoint with you that our team has created to help you be as successful as possible during your dual credit journey. And that is what I'm going to go over with you here today. Okay, before we begin, we just wanted to remind you of a couple key parts about dual credit. First, classes do start on Monday, August 22nd. Now at Hebron, we do not have dual credit classes on Fridays. That means you need to treat your dual credit period as an off period that day. That means that if you have first period dual credit, you will not come until second period and you will check in with your second period teacher as normal. If you have a dual credit class fourth period, then it means that you would leave after third period. We will never have dual credit classes during second period since that is the state funding period for attendance. For you third period folks, it gets a bit confusing, but on Fridays, if you have both third and fourth period dual credit, then you will need to leave after second period. If you have a fourth period Hebron course that's either a sport or some type of fine arts class, you will need to report to the appropriate teacher. If you are in doubt, please report to the library. That will also work in those situations, any of those three situations in which a class gets canceled. We, in the nicest way possible, need you to not be on campus. Now, if you don't have transportation, then you will need to go to the cafeteria or the library during third period, where you will wait for your next period to start. Attendance is super important, and now you have to follow both Hebron as well as Collin's attendance policies. We will also start registering for the spring come October. And then our end of term, when Collin ends sooner than when LISD ends, you will have to follow these same procedures, and you will need to not be on campus, again, in the kindest way possible, when your dual credit class would happen. Okay, we're going to transition into Collin's stuff now. If you hear nothing else from me today, please make sure you have access to your Cougar web login information. Please, please, please make sure that you have that access. You should have been emailed a username, a Collin ID, and a temporary password. If your password isn't working, oh my goodness, please bookmark this slide and please save this number in your phone, 972-377-1777. These folks are available 24/7. I am not the help desk. I cannot reset your password for you. But what they can do, if you give them your Collin ID, is reset your password on your behalf. All right, we have this thing called Ferpa, the Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act. As you may know, college students have a right to confidentiality and privacy in their information. Professors, Collin College counselors, and other Collin College staff are not allowed to provide parents with details about holds, grades, or other information without your expressed written consent. Some families may say, my child is a minor, they live with me, and I paid for their college classes. I should have access to this information. If you as the student would like to grant that access to a third party, you can do so within Cougar Web. Go to the Student Quick Links box and click on Review/Update FERPA Authorizations. If your parents are listening along, parents, please know that the student is the one who must fill this information out. You are not allowed to fill the information out upon the student's behalf. We do offer accommodations at Collin for equal support services for our non-able-bodied friends. You need to do this process each semester. High school 504 plans do not automatically transfer to Collin, and you have to schedule an appointment with the Access office before the semester begins. You also must provide documentation of this disability. You have to do this each semester with each professor, but our Access people are lovely, and I would highly, highly encourage you to self-advocate and come forward. All right, woohoo! We are ready to start the semester. We're going to walk through how you can be successful in your dual credit courses in these next couple slides. Please make sure you set up your Collin email. Collin College has transitioned to a more secure login system using Microsoft Office. We use an app called One Login. You must download that on your cell phone, and then you must use onelogin.collin.com on the separate device to scan a QR code to actually get into our system. Some of our lovely parents have downloaded this app on their phone. Parents, it must be downloaded on students' phones. If it is downloaded on your phone, every time the student wants to log in to their Collin information, you will have to allow them access. If you get a new phone, you will also need to re-download this information. Second, beneath that little icon, which is on the home tab of your Cougar webpage, our Office 365 Collin email is linked below. Please make sure you log into your Collin email before the first day of class. Again, that's in your home tab in your Cougar web account. So often students are not successful in our classes because they are using their personal or their LISD email. Please make sure you are now checking 3 emails regularly. That includes your personal email, your LISD email, and your Collin email. Students will often also email through their Canvas account, and not every professor actually checks those emails, but relies mainly on their Collin email to do so. You can view your schedule online in the My Quick Links again box, My Class Schedule. Please make sure your Collin schedule and your LISD schedule match. In My Courses, you do have access to your Collin Canvas. So again, along with your Collin email, you'll now have to check your Collin Canvas. Once inside Canvas, again, very similar to the LISD Canvas, you can click on the Courses feature and your courses will come up. Now, for all of you, I have checked numerous times, and you are all enrolled in these classes. However, Collin, as a rule, does not populate or make your courses active until the first day of class. So if you check this after watching this video, or if you do this tonight, then don't freak out if you're not in the classes yet. They simply have not populated. We really do encourage students to view their course syllabus and look at the textbook requirements. We really encourage students to actually take a physical field trip to the Collin College campus and go buy their books from our bookstores. I think it's such a cool experience for you and your family to go and check out what Collin actually looks like. You can get some super cool swag. And you do need to know that our bookstore matches, in terms of price, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other local competitors. Additionally, you can walk right across the hall and pick up your student ID card, which prints out in real time. We now want to transition into how to succeed in your dual credit classes. There are 4 different types of courses that can be offered on any college or university campus. Most of you will fit into number 2 below, which is lecture or lab in-person classroom courses in a very traditional format. They are regularly scheduled, they are face-to-face, and they are at a specific campus location. For you guys, they will most likely be on the Hebron campus. However, there are 3 other types of courses that you may run into. The fancy word for that is course modality, especially in the summer. And you need to know that as a college student, you're responsible for knowing the modality, in other words, the format that the course is offered in. It is not the professor's responsibility to email you beforehand and remind you. I hope they will, but again, that is your responsibility, not the professor's. We have online, completely web-based courses that are asynchronous, meaning that they don't meet over Zoom or in person. They just have dates and deadlines when you need to get materials completed by. Again, I just talked about the lecture and the lab classroom course in person. We also have hybrid courses where they meet in person 1 week, regularly scheduled at a specific campus location, with other types of online instruction in the off weeks. We also have blended online courses where the majority of the instruction is online, but some activities may be scheduled on campus over Zoom or whatever platform the professor chooses. Again, it is your responsibility to consult with your professor about the requirements. It is not the professor's responsibility to make these excruciatingly clear as they would in high school. It is also important for you to understand the full meaning of what a syllabus is and the full expectations of you reading it. A syllabus is a contract that outlines the expectations of you and the professor for the course. Typically, students only read 2 parts of the syllabus. For 1, they read the dates, and for 2, they read about the grades. However, a syllabus contains so much more. Course policies, rules and regulations, textbooks like we just talked about, a schedule of assignments, and deadlines. Please, please, please make sure you print out your syllabi, that you read them, you highlight them up, and you come up with questions afterwards that you want to ask the professor. Please note that all professors will write and use their syllabi differently, but they all will post common information, including their contact information, office hours, those deadlines, what your assignments are, and any other crucial policies that you need to be aware of. Once you are given the syllabus and are given 24 hours to read it, it is assumed that you understand and you will abide by what is laid out in that syllabus. A portion of your grade also may be set for attendance and participation. Please, please make sure you are not losing points on attendance and participation. If you're going to miss class because of any extracurricular activities, football games, band concerts, theater events, art festivals, please make sure to reach out to your professor 24 hours at least, if not 48 beforehand. Our favorite students are those that take the syllabus down, compare it to their high school schedule, and let the professors know within the first week any and all dates for that semester. Then the 48 hours ahead of time is simply a reminder, and the professor already knows. Please, please do us a favor. Please. Please also participate in class by taking notes, asking questions, getting involved in group discussions, etc. I used to be pretty introverted, and I still am, and I remember talking to a mentor once who I got pretty close with, and she asked me why I didn't participate as much in class. I explained to her that I'm kind of introverted and I didn't know how to. So she told me to come up with 2 things for each class discussion. Number 1, come up with something to teach the class, maybe something I learned in the reading that I thought was really interesting. Then number 2, I needed to come up with something to learn from my other classmates. Maybe it was a question I had about something I didn't understand very well. Maybe it was an intriguing question or thought that the reading left me with. Again, there's your method. You need each class to have something to teach your colleagues and something that you want to learn from them. I'd encourage y'all to write those down, and there are your participation points right there. High school and college are different. High school is mandatory, and it's usually free unless you're participating in some type of a sport or other activity. College is voluntary, and it does cost money. Guess what? None of y'all had to do dual credit. You chose this. and that is wonderful. We are so happy you made that decision. However, we want you to get every penny's worth out of this experience. And we really want you to use this as a time where you're not expecting your teachers to structure your time, but that you are learning how to manage your own time, where you're not just relying on your parents and teachers to remind you of your assignments, your priorities, your deadlines, but that you are balancing your responsibilities and that you are setting your own priorities. Again, as a college skill, you are expected to take responsibility for what you do and what you don't do. Testing is frequent in high school and it covers material as you go. And in some of my college classes, I had 4 assignments. Some I only had 3. Again, it's not frequent and it covers large amounts of material. In high school, teachers will conduct review sessions pointing out important concepts. In college, which starts with your dual credit classes, you, not the professor, are expected to prepare yourself for a test. There really is some self-learning that goes on and self-teaching that goes on in college, and dual credit is a wonderful time to start that. Teachers in high school may rearrange test dates, paper dates, project dates to avoid conflict with event-heavy weeks like homecoming, the end of the semester, Thanksgiving, so on and so forth. Collin College professors and university professors are not required to pay attention to those types of school events. If those events are coming up, guess what I'm going to tell you? Plan ahead. Make sure that you are doing your papers, your projects well in advance of that so that you don't get mired down in a very event-heavy week and a very dual credit-heavy week. In high school, you're not responsible for knowing what you need for graduation as much, though many of you are because you're very on top of these types of conversations. However, graduation requirements for your university are complex and they do differ for each university. And finally, just a reminder, in high school, your parents really can talk to your teachers without your permission. Not so in college. Until you sign that Ferpa waiver that I showed you at the beginning, only you as the student can speak with your professors about their classes. Please use your Collin email address at all times when talking to professors. Please understand that not all professors check their Canvas inboxes. Communicate with your professor sooner than you think you need to. I can tell you from being a professor myself that it is awful when students contact me in week 12 of the semester and they missed a concept somehow in week 3, and now it's too late to do anything about it. So please make sure you contact your professor when you don't understand the subject. When maybe there are grades missing in the grade book, if you do come down with COVID or another medical illness, if you have to miss class for a reason, if you're just curious about a grade, or if you don't understand an assignment or you have questions about it, please contact your professor. Please also don't be like a student I had a couple years ago and say, hey, I'm going to miss class tomorrow. Great. Thank you so much for letting me know. I wish you knew who I was. I wish I knew who you were. I wish I had a little bit more information about you. Please wait for at least 48 hours before responding. Please use our names. Please use professor and then our last name. Please follow up with us after 48 hours if we've asked you to do something. Please include your Collin College ID. Again, you can get an example on the left-hand side of the screen. Also, just to note, we love thank you emails. They make our day and they remind us that we did do our role and that we were very helpful. We have several resources on our campus to help you succeed. And as a dual credit student, you have access to all of the materials that every other Collin College student has access to. 1, we really care about your safety. So we have this thing called Cougar Alert. It allows you to sign up for text, email, and phone calls when there are alerts regarding weather, emergencies, and other school closures. When Snowvid happened a couple years ago, I had just started at this role in this job, and I got a phone call, an email, and a text within about 2 minutes of Collin closing. On your home tab, please look for the personal information channel and click on that Update Cougar Alert contact information. This is just one of the many ways that we at Collin very, very, very much care for your safety. And if there is a time when Louisville ISD closes and Collin stays open, then you will not get that information. If there is a time when Collin closes but Louisville ISD stays open, and if you are already at Hebron, then you can get up to the moment contact information as to what is going on at Collin and whether or not you should be expected to go to your dual credit classes that day. Again, it is very important for you to stay in mass communication with Collin at large in that manner. We have a writing lab to assist you with your writing assignments. We have a math lab to assist you with math-intensive courses. So any of y'all who are in stats this semester, that is fair game for you as well. We have a science den that is open for use. We have library study rooms. We have very cool maker spaces. And we do encourage you to use your Collin ID card because that functions as your library card, as well as your swipe to get into any one of Collin's gyms. Again, any resource at Collin is also open to you. We have an amazing, amazing electronic library. Please, 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 with all the citation guides that you heard about from Dr. Jack today, please make sure you get familiar with this tab. And please, please pay attention to this next part. This is one of the hardest parts of the presentation for me because we have to talk about the reality that some students may find dual credit more of a challenge than expected. If you are struggling in a class, please talk to your professor about the challenges you're facing. I've met every single one of them that are going to be working on Hebron's campus this year, and they are all lovely people, and they all want you to be successful. Their contact information will be on the syllabus for their email, for their phone number, and for their online office hours. Please make a plan with them. We call those academic recovery plans. You are also welcome to come to me. Second, talk with your high school counselor about other course options if you really do believe that the point of no return has actually happened. You can't just not be in a course. You really do need to work out another option. Then, if you do decide in consultation with myself, your professor, your high school counselor, and honestly, probably your parents, that it's best for you to drop the course and do some type of credit recovery, then you need to know about some important ramifications of this decision. Once the course begins, which is on August 22nd, you have until the 12th day of the term to drop your class. That is September 6th, and nothing would appear on your transcript. It is not the 12th time you have that class, but the 12th day of Collin's semester. After September 6th, the student receives a W on their college transcript. And depending on the day and the time frame in which you drop the course, you may get 0% refund. Please, please, please talk with myself as well as your high school counselor so that we can fully consider all the ramifications of this decision. You need to know that when you start your dual credit classes, you are not only adding them to your Hebron transcript, but you are starting an undergraduate transcript. Anything that gets dropped from September 6th through October 28th shows up on both your Hebron transcript as well as your Collin transcript as a W. You only get 6 W's before you are not eligible for any other type of financial aid. That is really, really, really important for when you hit graduation and when you start to go to your university, because those W's follow you all 4 years of your undergraduate experience. After October 28th, whatever grade you are receiving in that course and you want to be done, and if your counselor and your folks and myself and your professor deem that the point of no return has actually hit, whatever grade you receive from the moment you decide to not participate in the course anymore stands. It is October 28th is the last day to withdraw. It will be reflected in that manner on, again, both your Hebron transcript as well as your Collin transcript. It is really important that y'all pay attention to that and that you remember that those dates will be different if it's not a 16-week long class, especially in the summer. August 22nd is when it starts. August 25th is really when Hebron's rosters lock into place. September 6th is the last day to drop a 16-week course without it showing up on the college transcript. October 28th is the last day to withdraw, so starting on October 29th, if you decide to stop participating in that class, most likely your grade on your transcript will be reflected to be an F. The short story in all of this is that you need to contact your professor, myself, your high school counselor, and discuss with your parents the best option before the point of no return hits, before you think you need to, and before you get into some really hot water. These are the hardest conversations that we have with dual credit, and we desperately want to keep you from them. To conclude, to get into the habit of logging in every day to review your week's assignments. Second, we want you to get organized. We want you to keep an assignment tracker on your phone. We want you to check off assignments once they are submitted and look at this daily. If you would prefer to use an iPad or your laptop to do this, that's fine. If you're a pen and paper person like me, then feel free to write them down in a planner. Please stay on track. Do not wait until the last minute. We really live by the 48-hour rule at Collin. And as a reminder, though it says here to expect to study 3 to 4 hours per week per class, and remember you have 2, most likely at least, classes for dual credit, I actually think a safer rule is 2 hours of outside of work for every 1 hour of in-class work. The best students we see and the students who we see do best in their dual credit literally schedule 2 hours of blocks of time to work on their homework for their dual credit classes. I know some of you are thinking, well, what happens if I finish early? Cool, it only took you 1 hour and 15 minutes. Well, you now get to go watch your favorite TV show on Netflix. Cool, you can take a little bit of a study break. Or maybe you start on that next 2-hour block of time and it ends up only taking you 2 hours instead of the full 4, and you give yourself 2 hours of time back. Again, this goes back into that self-management and time management, student success skill that we really want to emphasize to you. We encourage study groups. We encourage you to speak with your fellow classmates about assignments. No, we do not encourage you to collaborate and do each other's homework for each other. But we do encourage you guys to really work as teams and really understand these assignments together. And finally, get every possible point. Please do not take points off the board with incomplete work or by missing deadlines, or if you think it's just a reflection paper or just a discussion post. You guys, those are real points. They count towards your grade. They are not optional. If you don't turn something in, you are just jeopardizing your own college transcript at this point. Finally, this is me. My name is Dr. Jessica Robinson. I am your Collin College and Career Counselor, and I am located at Hebron High School. I office right behind Mrs. Cecil in the Counseling Center. That is my Collin phone number, and that is my Collin email. I also have a QR code, and I am happy to meet with you at any point in time you want. Again, we are all partners on your college journey, but remember that y'all are the captains of this ship. We are here to help steer you and guide you in the way that you want to go. But we want to emphasize your well-being, your ability to manage your own time, and your self-advocacy. We're here to support, but you are in the lead. Have a great evening. Bye.